18. Okay, leader card, front side, Android 18. When she attacks, you get to draw a card and place one blue card from your drop under this card. What the hell is the reason for that? You'll see. And then you awaken at 4 less life, or if you have 3 or more cards under this card, you get to draw one, switch one energy to active mode, and add cards to your life to your hand until you have 6 life left. So you're awakening pretty quick in this deck. Most of the time it's going to be on turn 2. Flip her over and let's see. Oh my god, I can flip, and there goes the unfocus. That's, you see, I was counting my chickens before they hatch, and now I'm going straight to hell. Threw it in a shitty sleeve, but we got basically the same auto here. When you attack, you get to draw a card and place one blue card from your drop underneath. Has another auto. When you add a card from your life to your hand, place up to one blue card from your drop area under this card. So a power way to get more stuff in. You got 2 options now straight off the leader. And then activate battle, you get to add 1 card from your life to your hand, and then you get plus 5k power for the duration of the battle, which can help you get into your Z leader quicker. Surprise, surprise, we got a Z leader with this one. We're going to start off here with some 1-drops. I'm going Krillin, gearing up to battle, 2 copies, and Android 18 gearing up to battle, also 2 copies. Most people will go with either one or the other. I'm going with the split. You're going to say, what the hell do these cards do? Both of them have an activate main, limit 1, burst 1. If your leader is blue, Android 18, place this card under your leader. You get a burst a card to your drop area, and you get to place them underneath, so you have a way to turbo your awakening, especially if you're going second and it's your turn 1. You want to play one of these cards first, then use its activate main, put it under your leader, burst a card so you have a card to place under your leader from the drop area. The difference in these cards come from their autos. Krillin, you get a draw on play, and for the Android 18, you get a search top 5 for a blue Krillin or Android 18 card, 5 or less than shelf of your deck. I'll go over why I have the split a little bit later. It'll make more sense with a couple of card choices. Another 1-drop, you usually don't want to see this one on your first turn, but sometimes you have to, is Bulma Helpful Cheer. When she's played, you get to draw 1. For second auto, limit 1. If your leader is a blue Android 18 card, you may place one of your non-leader cards from under your leader to the owner's drop. When this card's used in a combo, choose one Krillin or Android 18 card, and it gets plus 1k power for the battle. Gives you that little extra boost, basically turning its 5k combo into really a 6k combo, so it does help on defense especially. Next up, only pulled one of these. Marin, Precious Family, unique, permanent. When your leader is a blue Android 18, your Krillin and Android 18 cards gain blocker. So super cool, because that is most of our deck are those 2 characters. Activate main, limit 1. If you have a Krillin card and an Android 18 card in play this card from your hand. Activate battle once per turn. If it's your turn, choose it to one of your Krillin or Android 18 cards, both blue. They get plus 5k for the battle. I think she's super cool. Only problem is I've had her in my hand almost every game when I haven't seen Krillin and 18 together. So that sucks. So I haven't been really able to play her. Obviously, 1 copy, you're not going to see her as much as you'd like to. This is just the exact deck I was running from the tournament. I don't know how I feel about her yet. I think she'd work in a couple of matchups where you want to keep some blockers up, but if the blockers don't have barrier right, they're going to be executed swiftly. Now that we got through the main 1-drops, we're going to get into our turn 2 plays. Android 18 and Krillin superpowered spouses, so I'm running 3 copies of this. Deflect, dual attack. If you don't have a unison in play, when this card is played, you get to play 1 Android 18, Krillin and Marin, Family United from your deck with a marker on it in rest mode, then shuffle your deck. So 4-drop that brings out a unison. You're thinking, that's okay. It's deflect, dual attack, 15k. Beauty of it is it has an activate main, limit 1 for 2 blue energy. If your leader is a blue Android 18 and there are 2 or more cards under it, play this card from your hand. So especially going second, if you're getting a 1-drop out and you're able to swing and place a card from the drop area underneath her, you'll have this live for turn 2 guaranteed. If you ended up going first, you'd have to swing before playing this card, but it's still pretty easy to get out. The unison it brings out is the Android 18 Krillin and Marin Family United. It has a permanent while your leader card is a Krillin or Android 18 card. I like that they gave the Krillin support. This card gains blocker. It has a +2 activate main, draw 1 card, discard 1 card from your hand. Additionally, if your leader is a Krillin or Android 18 card, both mono blue, place 1 Krillin or Android 18 card from your drop area under your leader, and at the end of the turn, switch this card to active mode. So the way that's set up, you most of the time want to draw a card and discard an Android 18 or Krillin, so you can just shove it directly under your leader basically right after that. Some of them will actually be able to be played directly from under the leader later on. It has a -4 as well. You get to choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier and place the bottom of the owner's deck. So some ignoring barrier removal in blue, it's a nice touch. One of the cards that we're going to be looking for here is, I guess, technically the boss monster of the deck. And it's Android 18 helping her husband. Double Strike, she's got a permanent that when she leaves the battle area, she's removed from the game instead. She has an auto limit 1 that if your leader is blue and you have 3 or more energy, when you use a blue Krillin card in a combo from your hand or battle area, you get to play her from under your leader or from your hand. So this is one of the cards that you want to be kind of shoving under here. Like I said, with the +2, you get a draw card, discard a card. If you discard her, basically she's going under the leader to be used for later, so you're not really losing too much hand advantage, which is nice. And she has another auto that when she's played, you can choose up to 1 Krillin with energy cost of 3 and play it from your Z energy, combo, or drop. Getting into the Krillin over here, I think Krillin Power Expanded is the best option for her. While you have a blue Android 18 card with an energy cost of 5 or more in play, this card gains dual attack. And then when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 4 or less and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. Cool thing about that is this is all happening during an auto. So you're able to bottom deck a 4 or less during an auto. You could potentially stop the attack and go on from there, which is really cool. It has an active main limit 1 where he can play himself for 1 blue energy if you have 3 or more energy. But realistically, what you want to do is swing with your leader or something, combo this Krillin, tap 1 to play the 18 from under your leader, tap another one to play the Krillin from the combo area. Now you have a 15k dual attacker, and you have a 20k double striker. And you've just bottom decked a card as well too, which is super cool. And you have the chance to play Marin right after that. Krillin can definitely push to 4. I ended up pulling 3, that's why I have 3 in the deck. Next up is one of the reasons why I have those Android 18 1-drops is the Krillin Absolute Guard. So that's my super combo for the deck. Just very simple. He's a 0 plus 10k always, and then if my leader's blue and my lace at 4 or less, when this card's used in a combo, I get to draw 1. So a lot of people want to automatically go to the Vegeta GT super combo because you get a bottom deck 1, draw 2, you get to see more cards in your deck. I'm going with Krillin because it gives me another card that I can combo to play off the Android 18. I know I can't use your second auto to play him, but say this 3 drops in my Z energy might drop, I can just play that guy instead. And it's a searchable super combo because the Android 18 looks for a Krillin 5 or less. That's why I think he is the better super combo for the deck. Another card that gets played under the leader that I still have not been able to get out is Android 17 supporting his sister. Auto, when this card is played, I get to choose 1 mono blue Android 18 card with energy cost of 5 or less, switch it to active mode. Super cool. I think it's really good. But it has an activate battle limit 1 if your leader is a blue Android 18 card and an Android 18 card is in your combo area. Play this card from under your leader, and at the end of the turn, if this card's in play, place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. In theory, very cool. I feel like to get it out, I usually combo one of these off. I could bump this up to 3 and cut this down to 2. I think realistically, that's probably what I'm leaning towards because I'm never able to see an Android 18 card in my hand to be able to play this. So like I said, I didn't play him much, but I realized that I'm also an idiot. This Unison can slot Android cards underneath your leader. I thought it was only Android 18 cards, so it is easier to get him underneath, and he definitely should probably still be at 3 in this deck, and I just need to, not be a complete dumbass. So my main goal was playing her from under the leader, but he kind of only can be played from under the leader, so you want to be able to slot at least 1 under there to have a chance to basically restand your boss monster. Next up, tech cards. So for tech cards here, SS Rose, Goku Black Mortals Begone. It's a mono blue deck, and it's an aggro deck. We're going to throw in a double striker that comes down for 1 energy. Also gets the bottom deck 4 drop, and gets the draw 1 and the activate battle step. I think Rose is super good. You have to time it right, though, because 3 Z energy is what you want to hit in this deck for the Z leader. So you might not be able to play him after you Z Awaken, but before, you want to at least get 1 or 2 down to really put on pressure to your opponent. The next tech card, another good one, is Tapion Calamity Challenger. So double strike, auto when this card's played, draw 1. He's 20k, and then has an activate main limit 1 for 1 blue energy. If you have a blue Unison with 15k power or more, and you have 3 or more energy, play this card from your hand. We're going to have a Unison that's going to be accruing a lot of markers, so Tapion at 2 I think is pretty good. Other options, you could definitely throw the SGR in here as well. I think is a pretty good fit. I just have all the green SGRs and none of the blue, so get bent. Next up, we're going to get into the counters, starting off with our only counterplay in the deck being Android 18, Let the Battle Begin. For those of you who don't know, it's a blocker, counterplay skill. Play this card, and if the battle card being played has an energy cost of 4 or less, it's placed in the bottom of the owner's deck instead of being played. And as a permanent, if my leader's an Android card or a Heroine card, if I have a Unison in play with a specified cost 2 or more, and it's my opponent's turn, reduce the energy cost of this card in my hand by 3. We got a specified cost 2 Unison, and on my opponent's turn, this is going to be a 1-drop. The only shitty thing is on your turn, you can't stop Floodgates, so you can throw in Desperate Measures if you want. I definitely throw that more as a side deck card, because Floodgates usually only become live turn 2, and then if they're wasting their turn 3 to floodgate you out, maybe you're better off just setting up and cracking them the turn after. Now into our negates, starting it off, another Android 17 defending friends, counterattack, negate the attack, play this card in rest mode. You've been seeing this card everywhere. It's the new Floodgate for blue. If your leader's blue and your leader's a Z leader, or you have 3 or more Z energy, or you have a Z battle card in play, when this card is played for the duration of the turn, your opponent can't attack with battle cards unless they choose one card in their hand placed at the bottom of the deck each time. That's a 1-drop Floodgate that is always active after your Z Awaken, and it's also an Android card, so if it's in your drop area and you discarded a card that was an Android, you're still able to put it under your leader with the family unison. Another Android counter, Android 17 Emergency Defense. I think I used this once and it saved me. Counterattack limit 1. If your leader is a blue Android 18 card, negate the attack and play this card. Permanent, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by placing 2 blue non-leader cards from under your leader into the owner's drops. So basically, once per turn, it's a free counter. I don't use it too often because we do have a couple of negates in this deck, but he's good for backup if, say, someone uses something like Absolute Annihilation where you're not able to use extra cards without tapping energy and you're already tapped out. He's a good call for that. Next up, we're playing blue. Dimension Magic, 4 of. Yeah, that's just how it is. We're playing 4 of them. It just makes sense, doesn't it? And then as for another extra card negate, we have 2 Chilled Army Reinforcements. It can help you get down from 4 to 3 life if you already used your Activate Battle. Chilled's Army is Chilled's Army. You get a blocker token. Most of the times people have ways to deal with the blocker token, but hey, you got him in the deck. Why not? So, finishing it off with the other extra cards in the deck, we got Krillin helping his family. The collector version of this, I need to get my hands on. It's beautiful. They're in a car.
Give me $1,000.
Basically, activate main limit 1. If your leader is a blue Android 18 card, you get to draw 1 card. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Place 1 Krillin or Android 18, both blue, into your drop area. Shuffle your deck. If you place the Krillin or 18 in your drop, you get to switch 1 of your mono blue energy to active. Super good if you don't whiff like I did. Oh my god, I whiffed, so I don't get to switch my energy back. Because the cool thing about it too is that you're using the extra card. That means that's another blue card in your drop area they can use to shove under your leader. As long as you're not whiffing and they haven't played Cunning, great time. Of course, it's not a blue deck. If you don't see Sensu Bean, I guess there's some blue decks that don't run Sensu Bean now, but come on. You want to go for some shenanigans here. You got 1 energy up. You're at 3 life. Your opponent's trying to go in and put some pressure on you. What you can do, tap a Sensu Bean. You already got 3 Z energy there. Might as well use a Rose, then Z Awaken, and there you go. You just went up to 25k, you bottom decked one of their cards, you drew a card as well in the process. Your opponent can eat some shit now. Capping it off with our SCR, I'm going with Baby Hatch Stay and Destroyer. Obviously, Beast Gohan is a very good option for this deck. That was the original list I was building this off of. Shout out to Beer for helping me tool this deck and tool the numbers down. Go follow him on Twitch. But he was using like the SGRs, and he was also using the Gohan Beast SCR just to push extra damage, crit a life, and just start going in, which I think is really good. It just gives you even more gas, and you can close out games even quicker. I think Baby Hatch actually saved my life more times than Gohan would help me win games, because there's still a lot of yellow in the meta, and I've been seeing Bergamo get played a lot more. There was one game where I got Bergamoed, and I was locked out from using energy, and I wanted to D-Magic and go from there, because there was just going to be an onslaught coming at me, but that man right there helped me. Obviously, cooler counter is a thing, Baby Ape's a thing. You just have to watch what your opponent's energy's at. I still think Baby Hatch is top 3 SCRs in the game. Super, super good. Obviously, that's the main deck. I don't think the numbers are perfect. Like I said, this is the exact same one I used in the tournament. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out, and the link in the description below. So now we're getting into the fun stuff here. We're getting into the Z deck, starting off with the Z leader here. Android 18, Excel Dance. Z Awaken, 1 blue energy if your life's at 3 or less on a blue Android 18. She's got a Z stack too, where you can shove a 5-drop blue Krillin and a 5-drop blue Android 17 underneath her. So the auto is once per turn now, and you can still get a draw card and place one of your blue cards from your drop underneath her. You're saying once per turn, what the hell's going on? Well, we're gonna see here. Activate main for 3 blue energy. Place 3 blue non-leader cards from under this card to the owner's drop area. Play 1 Krillin or Android 17 Z battle card, both blue from under this card, and this card gains double strike. So you're like, oh, you got to do that before swinging. No. We're going to show off Krillin first, because he's the one I seem to be using more. He is Deflect, Dual Attack Blocker, Auto Limit 1. When your leader is an Android 18 card, When this card is played, you get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, place it at the bottom of the owner's deck, switch one of your leader cards to active mode, switch one of your mono blue energy to active mode, and this card gains barrier until the end of your opponent's next turn. Auto, at the end of the turn, you get to put an Android 18 card from your drop area under your leader card. And he is deflect, dual attack, blocker, 25k, and gains barrier until the end of your opponent's turn. I've closed so many games out with Krillin. Krillin, super, super cool. It's usually when they're on 1 life left anyway. You're getting Krillin out, you're restanding your leader. She's getting another swing in. She's double strike. Unfortunately, don't get a draw again, but hey, some things can't be crazy busted. Android 17, Excel Dance. He's similar to Krillin. He's deflect, critical, double strike instead. His auto, you also get to switch the leader to active mode. You get to switch one of your blue energy to active mode. Instead of removing a card, you get to give your leader another plus 10k. And he also has the same auto at the end of the turn. You get to shove an 18 under your leader. Depending on the situation you're in, sometimes Android 17 is better if you just really need to push that crit damage and force your opponent to either combo hand or just to eat a double strike crit. But I find most of the time that I'm using this ability, it's already when my opponent's at like 2 life, 1 life. With the Z deck, everything's a 1-out. So the next one here is Beerus Area Annihilator. Just simple removal. They got big boys that don't have barrier. Slap down a Beerus. They got their SCR. Slap down a Beerus. And that's your time to go. Of course, you can ignore barrier, remove something if you use ultimate ability, but I hardly see myself using Beerus. This deck is very linear in what it wants to do early on. Like turn 1, turn 2 are pretty much mapped out by this top row, and then turn 3, that's when you start getting a little more experimental and going off the deep end. But also on turn 3, if you really need to, you can play Cell if they have a really big board state. Mostly like AOD is what I can think of, where it becomes really annoying. Then you can have Cell there, eat up their board, and potentially have a dual crit, even a dual crit triple striker going at their face. Next one is a newcomer here, and that is Android 21 in the Name of Hunger. We are not playing the smaller version of Android 21, we're only playing her, so we do get to do the Z-Stack 2 ability since she is being played from the Z deck. The cool thing with her Z-Stack ability is her permanent allows me to steal one of my opponent's battle cards for the Z-Stack and one of my own. And when she's played, I get to place the top card of my deck into my energy and rest mode, and I get to choose my opponent's battle cards and place the bottom of the owner's deck. So you can remove 2 cards if you're playing her directly from the Z deck, and then her active main once per turn, you get to choose 1 keyword skill on a card underneath her, and she gets to gain it until the end of the opponent's next turn. So that's the reason for our last Z battle card here. SSB Vegito Godly Spirit. I don't think I'm ever going to play that in this deck, Rob, but it has a lot of keywords. So if I need any of those keywords on my 21, he's the card I always slap underneath her. Have I successfully played 21 yet? No, but I just like her in there as backup if I don't have anything to play from hand. You do generate Z energy pretty well in this deck, so 2 Z energy is not a big deal. Right there, smackaroos the deck. I know it's a new deck. New decks are experimental. You still gotta test out numbers and see how they feel. It usually takes a long time for a deck to be perfectly honed, like a Trunks Jita or something like that. And then there's always new cards that get added into the mix later on. This deck, I feel, isn't going to move too much. A lot of the deck needs to have Krillin and Android 18 cards, so unless they're specifically making mono blue Krillin and Android 18 cards, I don't know how much this is going to change around, but I have been really enjoying the deck. I've streamed it a couple times on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Kaioken Kards. Come stop by if you want to watch me do tournament runs, or even commentating top 8s, which I did last night. That's why I've been half awake this entire video, because I got woken up by shady car salesmen.